Alright, how's everybody doing? I think we're live. This is my first time doing this on YouTube, so please let me know if the sound isn't quite right or if the picture isn't quite right, because previously I had done this on Twitch, but then after my last computer reformat, I actually lost all my scenes in OBS, so it's been kind of a trial and error here to see if I can get it back to exactly how it should be. So hopefully the video quality is okay. Should be at 1080p, which is the highest that YouTube allows for an ultra low latency effect, because I want to be able to interact with you all in chat, so you can call out to me and let me know you can hear and see everything correctly. Fantastic. That's what I like to hear. So you're first in here. What part of the city have you been dying to see? I'm going to hopefully do a bit of an overview of a few areas of the city, and then we're going to work together to build a few things, and probably not do any massive builds. I'm only going to do about an hour or so of the stream, but maybe do some detailing or kind of filling in a few smaller areas that haven't been worked on in a while. So I'll quickly hop into this view here. And this is what we built in the last episode. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out. I feel like I still need to do more work. Like, I don't know if I should be leaving all of this empty, although I'm really not quite sure what I would fill it in with. Maybe I just need to put some planted trees around the edges and maybe a few more apartment buildings around the outsides, but if you look at the bars right now, it's actually housing that. Yes, I did use the terraforming network. So I've had the terraforming network asset installed for quite a while, but never really played around with it or never really figured out how it worked. And I always kind of drew it like, oh, if I needed to fix things here, I'll draw it here. But in reality, I had to like kind of draw them out in the water and then drag them into place and then play around with the height levels, which works great. So it hid all of that kind of nasty cliff textures that we're showing. I did still keep the textures here because I think, the outlet of the river causing some buildup along the banks makes sense, and since it's reasonably detailed, I don't really mind the way that it looks. I'm gonna kind of ignore this area here. I'd still really love to get, a really like showpiece museum asset in there, but I've also was just looking at this before. Maybe I at least just connect this up. But then it's like, I don't know, do I keep the same? Do I switch this key to a different one? I got to think about that. So hopefully I can, find a way to do that in the future, but not really what I'm the most worried about right now. One thing I was thinking about taking care of today is this. I feel like I've spoken about finishing off this build the last several times that I've worked, that I've put episodes out, and I haven't yet. So I think at some point today we're going to get to that, but did you manage to find a spot for the offices I commissioned? I don't know if I actually added that asset. So, I can't add assets now that I'm in game, but I definitely would like to do that. Unless you remember the name. Maybe I have added it and I forgot. I've been doing a lot of work recently in my workshop trying to fix things, essentially. So there's a link in the description for this live stream and also for the last video for all of my mods. That's the first time I've released a mod collection to the Steam Workshop. And I'm also in the process of putting together collections rather, for everything else that I work on. Because I'd really like to put out a save game file for this in the near future, but also, like I keep mentioning, eventually being able to work on a second series. And I feel like the easiest way for me to do that, the way to manage all those amount of assets, Georgian offices. I'm gonna write it down because I don't know if I have it. We'll take a look and find it, but Georgian offices. I know I had the Georgian apartment buildings, but I don't think I have the offices. I don't think I've ever used this asset either. What is this asset? I'm not gonna leave this here, but I wanted to put it down and see. That's actually pretty nice. I'm gonna have to use those at some point. But it's Rico. It's not even like buildings. That sucks. Yes, it doesn't look like I have those offices in there. I Am Pie's new series. Are you talking about his the preview he put out for New York? Because I did see the preview he did for New York, and I knew he was doing a New York series, and I even on his Twitter kind of called out to him. Was like, hey, are you doing it 1-to-1? Because like, not that that's mine. I firmly believe that anyone who does Cities Skylines should be able to do whatever they want to do. But I obviously don't want to do a repeat. I don't want to step on his toes. So he has confirmed that it's going to be New York inspired, which to me is okay. I am still considering doing a New York 1-to-1 build as my second series. I've even gone as far as to created a collection for it. And the good thing about... Nah, he's not stealing my thunder, really. I mean, he's doing his own thing. There don't really seem to be a lot of creators that do 1-to-1 builds because of the obvious logistical challenges in doing so. But I really just don't want that to stop me. One of the benefits of doing a New York 1-to-1 build will be the fact that I can start it without having to worry too much about my asset collections. Because I tend to use all generic, vanilla roads in it. I'm thinking for the new one, if I do it, I'm going to use Gray Flame's highways because they're thinner and narrower, and that just makes working with them a lot easier. But for the most part, I can actually just start that build and start making the road layout at least without having to immediately be placing assets and immediately be subscribing and unsubscribing to collections. So it'll let me really work on 2 series at once without too much effort. But I think I mentioned it briefly in the other video, but I might be traveling at the end of June for a couple of weeks. I might actually be in the UK very briefly, COVID travel restrictions permitting, of course. And that might, slow down my release schedule for a couple of weeks while I'm getting ready to leave, traveling, and then coming back. But excited that maybe I can get a couple episodes in the can. I'm going to try to not scroll out too far here because just north of here, I've already done about a half an hour's worth of work on the university, and I don't want to spoil that. Sorry, but we're gonna stay south of the rail line here today to make sure that almost. So I did start on the university, just kind of building out the base buildings, but I haven't really finished that yet. Oh man, look at this traffic jam! What a nightmare. Yeah, these are like the for sure the worst parts of traffic that I've been having in the city, but overall, the traffic's not too bad, and it's kind of unavoidable. Maybe I feel like there shouldn't be any parking on this road. It's too close to the junction. And then I feel like this should be a traffic light interchange for sure. Yeah, that should help to ease things up a little bit at least. But I mean, I always knew this was going to be a mess, but how did that happen? Yeah, I when I did the mod collection recently, yeah, I mean, the problem is I feel like that's a great suggestion to do a GTA type inspired city, but that is essentially what I imagine I Am Pie is doing. Not that he's going to be calling it GTA inspired, but that it is New York inspired on a smaller scale like that map is. And actually, if you, one of the Cities Skylines people that I love watching is $2.20, and his most current series of Oceania, if you watch the first few episodes of that, it's the same thing. It's based around, at least a GTA concept where everything is kind of biomes right next to each other and very quick transitions from city to desert to seaside to mountaintops. And that's just, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but oh god, this is gonna fuck everything up, isn't it? Oh yeah, I just lost all those assets. I don't know why this got so bad. I didn't even play with it at all. So now I'm gonna have to fix this a little bit, but ugh. I lost everything. The good thing is this was actually built before I solved my mod issue, so I'm hoping that I can just I'll just go and stick some bushes back in here and we'll fix this up really fast. this is... It's like every time I touch something in this area, I get the same problem. Like, this is not the first time this has happened. I'm still having problems with these props, so maybe I'll fix this at a later date. We're not going to worry about that right now. I don't want to... Yeah, he really is the best at it. I mean, he has an enormous following, and he absolutely deserves it. I mean, the level of scaling work that he does is fantastic, and it is a challenge. It is such a challenge to get things done right. Even for this city of Kingston, you know, after 14 episodes and building out all of this, I look back and I go, I probably should have made the city center even bigger. Because when I, for example, the university that I'm not going to show you, I feel like it's like half the size of the city center, which... It's not too off for real life, but you know, it's not perfect. So let's build something here. I want to finish up this block right here. This is like the last part of the city center that I haven't done, and yeah, let's do this real quick. I need to put housing, and you can see the green bar is like shot through the roof, and my housing is kind of stagnated, and it's not really pushing past 12,000, which is where I want it to be. So let's see what we got here. I'm thinking this has got to be high density stuff since it's like right next to the highway and it's probably not the nicest. No, not these. Well, maybe this. Yeah, I think this could work here. And then I'm gonna put some parking, but not a parking lot, just some decals behind, or maybe like on this side here. Yeah, that'll work. And then let's put in some... I feel like I always use the same car props, so I always forget like which manufacturers I actually have in the game. So I have some Renault, some Citroen. Oh, maybe I got some Peugeots in here. Oh yeah. It was really weird when I first moved to the UK, and you know, I'm an American and I'm used to seeing only American cars everywhere, and then all my friends had all these cars that I'm like, yeah, I might have heard of because like I'm kind of in the cars, but at the same time it's like, you know, we just don't have those here. It's just they just don't exist. We don't have all these European cars, or British cars for that matter either. Everything in America is either American cars, German cars, or Japanese and Korean cars, you know, East Asian cars. Oh yeah, that looks good there. I think maybe a short building right here, and then I'll close the rest of this intersection off with just some concrete. Always a good way to solve the issue of having, you know, these awkward angles that, you know, obviously no buildings fit into. Let's go low res. Maybe like a 3 length. That works there. And this is why I do everything time-lapse in the videos, because, you know, watching people, that's why everyone does time-lapse when they're, you know, doing City Skyline content, but, you know, like kind of putting in buildings one by one like this, it's just so tedious. I love it, but it's tedious as hell. Alright, let's blanket the rest of this area with some concrete. And then let's do a little bit of basic decorating here. There. A planter there. Oh, way too big, way too big. Too small. There it is. Alright, that'll work. And I don't know, maybe some graffiti. I need to download more graffiti assets. I know there's more in the workshop, but... There you go. And then I think this needs a fence as well. It's always tricky to like knock overboard of fences in this game because in real life they're everywhere because, you know, people like privacy and, you know, it also helps with noise when you're going to be living next to a pretty crowded street like this, but, you know, I'm also trying to knock overboard with props and assets because at some point, you know, it will absolutely destroy my frame rate. Hey, Shazim, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome to the chat. If you want to, you know, see anything in particular here, please let me know. Just right now, filling in some areas of the city center that haven't been filled in before and have kind of been putting off because they're really too small to make their own video out of. And, you know, just a little seating area. Why not? I think that works well. And then let's do a quick invisible network. Just to kind of cut the... Ooh, I don't want that. Just to kind of cut the corner here. Seems like a little nothing, but it does kind of bring the city alive sometimes when you have, you know, people just cutting the edges there. Alright, that looks good. Let's take a look at the rest of this. So this corner I think can be commercial because this is all commercial. Let's see, something maybe, how many spots do I have here? Maybe like a 3x2 or a 2x2. No, nothing vanilla. It's just not like, the other reason why I keep talking about in my videos of wanting to move to, you know, an American build or a New York build is that there's just so many better assets. Like, the assets for the UK are great, but there's just not enough of them, and I feel like I'm repeating the same things. Like, I don't want to put this same pub here even though it fits, because I feel like I've used it, right, it's right there, you know, it's already, like, within, you know, a couple of squares, and that's just, it's too close for me. Maybe this? I know I've used this asset a bit too, but whatever. Let's do it. I'll leave a little alleyway there for the... That'll work. Alright, cool. And then now, once that corner's in, I can kind of put in some larger things here. Well, yeah, you're right. The lack of... You're talking about, like, just UK buildings? I agree with you. But for American buildings... Oh, you can never build like a Manchester or Liverpool. Especially, you know, and in a city like Hull, too. And I'll come back to this area in a second, but I want to show you what I'm talking about. When you get to a block like... I don't know, like some of these blocks over here. If you look at any European city from above, the buildings tend to like almost abut each other. They tend to like stretch to the point where they're taking up the entire inside of the block, and then maybe there's a little bit of parking in the middle. But, you know, because of the limitations of all the assets being square for the most part, it's really hard to fill in like this. Like fill in like all of this space here would normally either be parking or just the backs of buildings in a real city. But in Cities Skylines, you just can't do it because I can't stick a building in here. It wouldn't have any road access and it wouldn't work. So I end up leaving it blank, and you know, you put in some garbage cans and some benches, and you make it look good for your city. But it's not the same. It's not the same as how a city like that would really look in real life. So it forces me to do things like this, where, you know, we stick a large parking lot in the back, and you know, this looks accurate enough. But you're so limited in the options that you have that it takes away a lot from the realism. Whereas with the New York build, not only are there like 150 custom-made New York assets for all the buildings you know from history, but at the same time, there's just like, hey, this is like a random building on apartment building on 79th Street that you can put all over the place because it doesn't look distinct enough to only be put in one spot. And there's just hundreds of assets, and it makes things so much easier. Not easy, still a lot of work, it's still really tedious, but I don't have this constant struggle where I feel like I can't put it, I can't want, like I'm hamstrung and I don't want to put things in. Oh, no, I don't, I gotta get rid of this asset. I actually swapped this asset out from another area because it's like really, like the textures on it are pretty crappy. And like, look, there's no, like I don't have any like long, narrow assets that fit here, so I have to go with the high density. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe I'll throw a couple of these down and I'll link these together. No, maybe I'll just, all right, so this one needs to be rotated. There we go. Okay. So I guess this needs to go up a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. And I think I'll set these back from the road just a touch. And then again, it's like, how do you fill in this space? Well, it's like parking lot or bust. And then I feel like I spend so much time just building parking lots, which, you know, it's gotten a lot better with so many decent assets for parking lots now, but, you know, it's not really what you want to be doing. Yeah, it's, you know, people want to build, especially with the way the Steam Workshop works, people want to build assets that are going to get them likes and awards and not just be on the top for one day and then get lost to history. It takes a lot of time for people to create these assets, and they deserve to have recognition for them. But it's just not easy. It's not easy to do that and also build things that are generic. People don't want generic buildings. They want the Empire State Building. They want Hudson Yards. They want things that look cool. And I you know, it's tough to agree with, but I understand it. Let's just stick some trees back here. That'll work. Let me get that a little bit closer. Maybe about 11 meters. Come on. There we go. That works like that. This I'll fill in. That can get filled in. And then I think for this area, let's just keep putting, hey, we cracked 12,000 people. That's fantastic. I see we got a few more people a few people who are watching now at least. So if there's a particular area of the city that you want to see, once we finish this up, we'll do a little bit more of a tour. So just let me know what you want to look at, and we'll take a look at it in depth. And any area we look at in depth today, we'll do some more heavy detailing on it as well. It's always nice when I go back and revisit places to do more detailing. Let's see. Is this another 2? Maybe I can fit it. It's like just not quite big enough. So put that there. Like this building I've used in a few places. I think it looks a little too European, but sometimes you got to make sacrifices. Is the mix coming through all right, by the way? Is the can you hear the game sound at a reasonable level compared to my voice? What do I want to put in here? Not really quite sure. Ooh, that would actually work well. I know those are really high density too, so let's see. Will this fit in here? Yeah, I don't mind that. Let's center that. Fill in the rest here. Awesome. And yeah, this building in particular is a 20, and those are, so yeah, this should hopefully start lowering that green bar a little bit. Alright, fantastic. I like to hear that it's smooth. Yeah, playing around with my mods too. I don't know. So one of the mods that I removed did mess some things up. Like, it was one of the mods I was using to hide things. So I'm mostly just using the hide it mod now, which is newer and cleaner, but I think lacks some of the functionality the other mod had. So there's a few things that are sticking out that I'm not crazy about. Like, the taxi rank put down this like giant taxi decal, which I didn't put this down. Like, that's just there. Like, I can't, or can I? Oh, that is mine. Oh, I stand corrected. I don't know why it's so big, though. Alright, so, let's, you know what? Let's take a look at this. So this is the concert hall slash convention center. It's the Surrey City Hall asset it's Canadian, but in Hull, this kind of part of the city was really blighted. And after I moved away, they built a concert hall there. It's called the Bonus Arena, I believe. And probably a bad time to be opening something like that after COVID decimated that industry, but I think this looks good. I think I want to put a building here, though. I feel like this entire area doesn't need to be taken up. So let me put some more residential here. Let's see. And then maybe a couple others to kind of balance that out, but just like single blocks next to it. Yeah, that looks good. And I think I'll fence in the backyards of these places. Let's do fence props. I'm always like, do I want to do fence props or I want to do fence assets? Never quite sure. Or networks, rather. So I have both, and I use both interchangeably, but sometimes it's just easier to do it like this. Oh, come on, don't select the building. God, I don't know how people used to play this game without the Move It mod. I mean, I used to, obviously, you know, because I've been playing this since, like, the day that it came out, but oh my god, it just makes all the difference. Alright, cool. Alright, I think that's like making good use of the corner. Yeah, it really was a different game back then. Completely different. Like, oh man, I look back at some of my older cities. Obviously ones that never on YouTube, but oh man, just rough. Just not the same level of quality. Alright, how do I... Alright, so if people stream out of it this way, let me make that a path. Or maybe I'll just put tiles down. I like these red tiles, and then sometimes I go back and I look at the white tiles that I have everywhere, and I'm like, I don't know if that was the best choice. Alright, so actually, I think that'll lend itself well. If I end up doing a fence, let me put, like this wrought iron fence next to it. So if I do that and limit this, maybe I can just tile all of this and then put more regular buildings here. I want to get these off the street. I hate when the cars do this shit. Absolutely terrible. Like, why is it flying through midair to get to a parking lot? Alright, are you not gonna let me grab? Oh, the nodes are off. That'll help. There we go. Alright, let's see. Back to move it. This is working out. I like this. It does it all the time too. Like, it's not even just like an occasional thing. Like, every single time you play this game, you will find cars jumping through the air, skipping over like invisible humps in the road. You know, just exiting. Like, you're gonna build an asset that has an entrance right there, but the cars come out this way. It's like, you know, not the end of the world. I don't know how old this asset is, or, you know, the person who created, you know, maybe didn't have the skills to do it differently, but yeah, that looks good. I like that. Alright, so let's put a few more buildings directly right here, like older ones. I'm kind of imagining that, you know, the reason they built this at an angle here is because they were historic buildings, you know, grade listed buildings that weren't allowed to be taken out of there. That one looks better, a little shorter. I know this is kind of like, again, a little bit European looking, but c'est la vie, as some Europeans might say. So if these are going to pretend to be historic, I probably should find, again, more older looking buildings. These assets I've used before. I'm going to change these colors. Those colors are ghastly, but nobody's got a blue house in that situation. Alright, make those both white. And then I think I'll throw in some planters to separate the noise. Nope. Props. Plane trees. No, those big plane trees are so massive. And then I think I'll just do the rest as bushes. Let me just turn this area back to gravel. Alright. And I think, you know, a big concert hall like this would definitely have some seating areas outside, so let's put in some benches. Some concrete looking ones. No bars in the middle. We want to have homeless friendly benches. No hostile architecture in this city. And then I feel like this area up here on this platform is the perfect spot to put some, like, tables. Again, I think I'll go with that. Oh my god, what just happened? What was that? That was wild. Alright, that one's in midair. Nope, come on. There it is. All right. Yeah. Even how amazing move it is, it can still be a little bit of a struggle sometimes just to get it quite right. Yeah, that looks cool. And then I feel like this needs either bollards or planters, because you wouldn't want some maniac, you know, driving over all of this and hurting the people that are in there, trying to ram their car into the building. Can I do the chains? Do these even work? I feel like these never work for me. Let's just do some standard ones. Alright. And then I don't know. Like, the back side of this I'm not really quite sure what to do with, but how long does it take to load the city? So before my computer upgrade it was taking about 6 minutes, but for whatever reason, recently it's been taking just about 3 minutes, which is amazing to cut that time in half. And this was actually the first load. I was actually worried I was going to have to delay the stream slightly because it wasn't going to load. Because I just hit, like, loading stream mod went red and showed that I was trying to load 27 gigs of mods and assets. I have 32 gigs of RAM. I run 8x4 at 2667 speeds, but I recently upgraded to a Ryzen 5900X and a new Asus motherboard, which has made a huge difference. It wasn't an upgrade that I was planning on doing or doing for any particular reason. I got lucky. I won the right to purchase the CPU in a raffle. Even though at the time at least they were extremely hard to come by, the 5900Xs, and just having those extra cores really makes the game run smoother. But I mean, my computer is absolute overkill. It's great. It makes rendering the videos really fast as well. I'm rendering out my roughly 20-minute videos now in about 20 minutes using DaVinci Resolve, which is nice. Certainly don't mind it, but it's not something that I really needed. It's just something that, you know, I had the ability to do. Kind of treated myself after spending money on nothing during COVID. Oh my god, 3080, 3090, it's impossible. They just don't exist. There's a note at the bottom of my descriptions about my logo. So that YT logo that I use, that is mine. I paid to have that designed, but I actually paid to have that designed by a different, for a website that I run where I build computers on the side. And then I basically had to give up doing that because it's impossible to get computer parts right now. I've had 2 different people that wanted me to build computers for them in the last few months, where I had to basically tell them, go and buy a pre-built. I'm sorry, like, there's no point. I can't get the parts. And nobody can. That's not just me, so it's kind of unfortunate the way that's worked out, but I'm hoping the supply chain kind of eases up in the next few months. But It honestly doesn't look like it will. What are these cars doing? Like, they never used to do that. Like, fly this way over? Jesus. Alright, let's, because this is a fire station. I got the fire and the police around here, but what else are my citizens lacking? Looks like just more housing still, huh? Alright, let's see. Maybe we put some housing over here. Something long. No, not that long. Ooh, is that too big? That could look really nice there. Yeah, that actually works, because if it kind of butts up against the parking garage, that'll make perfect sense. Oh, yeah. And it kind of backs up against the parking right to the entrance there, which I think looks cool, so... Alright, awesome. Yeah, that works right there. And then I think the rest of this can be trees. Or actually, I probably should put ballers there as well. I only use these same ones, but I'll do kind of I love these little things. Like, they don't look like they matter very much, bollards like this, but they really do make a big difference in the city. Yeah, just like that. I'm gonna put them around this way as well. And I don't know, maybe I could put one more building here, but if I put a commercial building here, it's going to hold up traffic on the road. And I don't really want to do that. So maybe I will just fill all this in with more foliage. Yeah, let's do that. And then use my trusty, everyone's trusty. I feel like this is like the vanilla asset you see used the most by all creators, but it just fills in space so nicely. Oh wait, no, are there doors there as well? Alright, let me leave that like that, and then throw in a few trees, or maybe some bushes. What are those big bushes? Where is it? Where is it? Regular bush somewhere. Not like that. I'm gonna need to leave that open. Fine, I'll put a path in then instead. Let's just do it like this. Yeah, that works. And then, yeah, I definitely gotta put some trees in there, otherwise it's not gonna look right. That works for me. Yeah, no more random computer questions. No, I love computer questions. I mean, if I didn't work the normal 9 to 5 that I have, I would do something with computers. I've been building computers since I was 16. I am much older than 16 now, so it's been a lifelong hobby, a lifelong passion, and it's something that I probably will never stop doing. Like, I love it so much. I mean, no offense to anyone who doesn't, who just goes and, you know, buys a Mac. Like, you know, do your thing. It's fine. No judgment. But, I love building PCs. It's just so much fun. And the thing is, like, people think the hard part is putting them together. The hard part is not putting them together. The hard part is knowing how to, like, knowing what to put together. Like, so knowing which parts to buy to make the city, to make the computer work. Wow, look at all these people coming in. Yeah, my little bus area here is kind of really working out well. I probably should, in the future, download actual citizen assets, because I feel like the vanilla sims are just so, they're too colorful. Like everyone knows in real life, like we all just like wear black and gray and navy, but the citizens are like wearing peach and pink and purple all over. Like nobody dresses like that. It's like every person is like an old grandma who like just doesn't give a shit anymore and wears whatever she wants. Here's a nice view. This is the view that got me a huge chunk of subscribers. This is where I had that Reddit post that just like really popped off. I think what was the funniest to me with that though was that that so many people were mad that I was like pimping out my channel. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, how are people supposed to build a following and build a channel? I wasn't like trying to make money off of it in that post. It was just like, hey, if you like this, come check out my channel. And people took such offense to that. And it's just, it's not the way to build a community. I really do feel like Cities Skylines has one of the better communities for a video game, because some of the other games I play, like I like playing Overwatch still, and Overwatch's community is fucking toxic and awful, and I cannot stand it most of the time. But everyone in Cities Skylines is so nice. Yeah, they dress like they live in Miami. Yeah, it is not Miami weather in Hull ever, and definitely not in Kingston. It is Miami weather right now in New York, though. Hopefully you can't hear my air conditioner, which is like right off camera, but it is like 90 degrees, so about 30 C today, and it's brutal. It's like not even summer yet, and it feels like it. Thanks, global warming. You're the best. All right, what do you think we should take a look at next? What would you like to see? Oh no, I almost showed the university. Can't do it, sorry. Peek at the university, alright. You know what? There's only a few people here, so we're gonna do it. You can give us some critique on what I've built so far. So here's the university as it stands right now. I've left this area blank because I want this to be just all housing. And this is like by no means done. But I just started the other night, and we're almost to the next reputation level. But I tried to fit in not only like a bunch of older looking buildings, but then one large, the School of Medicine up front, because I think it kind of breaks up the university from what will be the housing here. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with how this came out. I mean, it definitely needs like a ton more detailing, but I like how compact it is, but also really walkable, and there's lots of like little ways you can cut in between the buildings, and this came together really organically, and you'll see that in the footage that I've shot. This has to go. I'm trying to like think of ways to separate the university off from this area. But yeah, I think it's a decent start. Got a little parking lot. It'll look a lot better when there's some housing filled in. There's some more, commercial assets filled along this corridor, but it's not a bad way to start it off. I really, though, need to finish, like, the connection here. As much as I want to do this and expand east, I feel like getting all of this area filled in, so connecting the smaller city to the larger city, and then getting everything between the university and the city center filled in is going to be more important. But it really depends on the bars. If I fill in the housing and the industrial jumps again, there's going to be a big industrial area over here. That was always part of the plan, but that is something that I just can't even think about tackling yet. And you've seen how just, even small areas like this take a lot of thought to put into because of the lack of assets. Whereas when I build my New York 101, it's quick. Like, even though I'm looking off screen and I'm not copying, but, using New York as a template. Hey, look at that. Don't notify me again. That's terrible, but... Let me do a quick save before I forget. So, I don't know if you've ever seen this when I occasionally show it in the time lapses, but my original name for the city was Dull. Like it's never dull in Hull. But I thought that was maybe not the best keyword or search term to have this city show up on YouTube, so I decided to... Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Like, just the fact that I'm from New York. Well, I'm not from New York City. I grew up just outside the city, but, you know, I live in New York City now. And it is easier because I kind of, like, especially for detailing, but it's really just a different way of working. This is 80-90% creativity and 10 or 20% taking from Hull. Whereas New York is the opposite way around. It's more identical to what New York looks like, so less creative from a building standpoint, but those one-to-one cities are very creative from a game functionality standpoint, where I have to, you know, maybe I can't copy it exactly because the game doesn't work like that, but I have to find a way to make the game work like that, or make it as close as it can at least. All right, let's fill in this area. This is an area that I've left blank for too long. I want to extend the commercial through here. All right, let's see. Let's do low density commercial. Yeah, this building's cool. This is not really a UK building, but I think that works right there. You know, a little bigger massing next to the bigger office building here. Yeah, let's put that there, and then do I have anything that's wider? Have I used this yet on this run? No, I haven't, so that'll work well like that. And let's see, do a little, I want to do that Tesco. I feel like if I do this Tesco, it needs to have a little parking lot as well. I haven't been to Kingston upon Thames. I have spent a decent amount of time in London, but I haven't strayed too far out into the greater London area. You know, most of my time was spent up north in Hull. You know, I've been to Leeds a few times, been to Manchester, been up to Scotland. I've done Edinburgh. Never made it to Wales. Never spent enough time up even further north. I would have loved to have gone to like Newcastle or other parts of Scotland. Liverpool I never made it to. I never even went to York. I lived in Hull for 2 years and never went to York, which is like insane. But I just spent too many of my weekends just having fun with my friends, drinking, mostly just drinking. So much drinking, just an incredible amount. I know it sounds like cliche, but stereotypes exist for a reason, you know? Alright, let me get a 2x3? No, it's like just no assets. Alright, we'll do that. Take that and that, move it over. And then I think I need like maybe 2 more assets in there. How many spaces do I have left? There's 3 squares there. So I have a 3 building. That's not really a 3 though. That is a 3, but it really isn't. Oh, yeah, that one can work. Okay. Put that there. Let me concrete in all of this. And then on the back side here, I think I'm going to need to put more housing. So maybe, ooh, where was that? I want to use this one again. So let me just copy that and put that here on this angle. That is a really good suggestion. Come on. Can't tell you how many times I hit escape when I'm using move it when I don't want to. Terrible, terrible habit that I just cannot break. The worst habit actually though is, so I have the overlayer mod installed, which is what I use to do road networks when I'm doing a one-to-one city like New York. Actually, let's see if that will that work if I hit it right now? Fingers crossed. Oh, there it is. So like that's like North Brooklyn and Southern Queens. But the worst part is when you use this mod, like there's like really fine controls like to make it bigger and smaller and get it aligned perfectly right. But then if you're using the road building and you hit the home button to like lower a road up and down, it resets the map. And I can't tell you how many times I've been like doing a really intricate build and doing a really intricate overlay, and then I hit home by mistake, and then I gotta completely reset it, like, and it takes 10 minutes. Brutal, just absolutely brutal. All right, so we think we should put some buildings over that? I don't know if I have the right buildings for that. Maybe something like this. And then, yeah, that actually just works. I don't mind that at all. Cool. Yeah, you know, it does take forever, but, you know, that's... In the end, it's a game. And you have to be willing to make mistakes and deal with problems. Like I said in a couple of videos ago where I was having this issue with the game crashing. That's why I went through all my mods as well, because I needed to... I had a feeling it was an old mod causing it, and it hasn't happened since, which doesn't mean that I solved the problem, but... I mean, it might. I might have solved the problem. Let's see. Yeah, I want to do the unmarked parking. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to put in some more narrow roads alongside of it. Come on. And then I think I want to stick to these buildings here. Or at least something like it. Really big fan of these buildings. I'm using them a lot more. So it's Victorian, and you gotta put NFY. NFY for these sets means no front yard. Because most of these ones do, but I think for this side I won't put in any front yards. Nice. Alright, so if I can put... not that one. Where's the other angle? There it is. Oh, this is going to look nice. Yeah, I like this. Should have done this a while ago. Alright, so that's got to go there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, is this building slightly different? Oh, there are different ones, I guess. Alright, well, let me make sure this is uniform. And then I'll drag this. Cool. All right. I think if I can take these two, and this is the beauty of a Cities Skylines series too, because you know, on camera this looks like, you know, on like a live stream or a live play, this would look super repetitive. But once you get done with it and you're going to game, nobody will notice, and it just looks cohesive and uniform, and you'll never know the difference. And then let's go and tree this up. Why can I not find my good bushes today? They're in a weird spot today, aren't they? Scrolling. I don't know, I'll just use these, it's fine. And I don't know what to do with all of this. I guess I could just put more... I don't know. I do not know. Alright, that can be... I think this... There should definitely be a building right here backing into this building. Maybe a 2x2. Let's make a commercial. Let's... Just like, I don't want to put another supermarket behind the supermarket. Probably not. Yeah, an alley would make sense too. Like, I think this, maybe I'll make a path through here and down to this road. Kind of like these are. Which would mean I have to use... Well, let me get this tree in first. Let's go back to my note. Well, I can just pick it. I love this picker mod. It makes things so much easier. I don't have to go searching. Okay, let's see. Put a row of these. No, gotta be tighter than that. Let's do 6 meters. Fantastic. And then I think, well, is this building meant to be like a pub? It is a country dining pub. Ooh, very fancy. And there's a door out here. So let's put some tables and chairs. And some, we'll use these ones. And then for this one I'll use a networked fence. Let's see, let's do this. Perfect. And then maybe I'll just throw some decals down, break this roadwork up a little bit. Not bad, not bad. Alright, I do have to fill this in. That's sticking out like a sore thumb. Yeah, you know, everything's a gastropub now, right? Even if they serve the same slop, the same crap that Weatherspoons does. Not that I mind the Weatherspoons. Always happy to go to a Spoons for a cheap pint and a burger or whatever. Oh yeah, that's great. And now but look at this green bar. It's still really high. They still need residential, which is wild to me. Like I haven't put in enough already. I mean, I guess each of these only have one household, so. But it's good though. I mean, it's nice that these are only one household, which I think is either the way that these assets work or the way that a mod I have installed works, but I feel like they really should have at least two since it's 2 doors, but it keeps the area low traffic. Like, if these each had, like, 4 households living in them, this whole place would be choked with traffic. And all of these, like, really close intersections would be a disaster. Alright, let's fill in this square here. Right up against the bus line. So, I think commercial, at least in the corners. I might not do commercial the whole length because it'll just be really, like, there's to be too much traffic in this area for that, but let's see what we got here. Let's put that there. I want like a corner piece for over here. Yeah, let's do that. You know, it's a little big, but I think that's okay. And then for the rest of this, I think I'll do residentials. Angle it that way. I don't know if that's gonna work. It's like, actually, I probably should have made this square like a little bit bigger. That's okay. I don't know, like, I guess, like, I mean, there's doors in the backs of these buildings, but I think I'm gonna put commercial or other housing in front of them just to kind of hide it. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'll detail this a little bit. And then move on to something else. Too small, too small. Where are my good bushes? I cannot find them right now. Makes a big difference, right? Just filling in those few blocks instead of having this big empty green space next to the city, it just works. And can you believe that even after building this skyway, I still have people crossing this intersection? It's like all the mods in the world don't stop this. And you can see, you know, my junction restrictions. Like, there should be nobody crossing here. The citizens are like, too bad. I have to cross here. There's no way I'm walking down to, you know, like here and crossing. Although I haven't really given them any options, but this intersection is just too busy to have all kinds of crossings. All right, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And if anybody else watching in chat, I am gonna wrap this up in a few minutes, actually, as well. Gotta get on with my evening. I got a batch of sourdough on the counter. I gotta fold and take care of that. So, unfortunately, I can't sit and play Cities Skylines all day as much as I'd like to sometimes. But it's been really great doing this. It's nice to you know, get some decent viewership in here, and I'll definitely be doing this more in the future. My goal is to, especially if I end up doing that New York 1-to-1 build, to be doing this quite often, because a lot of that work is like super tedious and not great for a video, but would be perfectly fine for a live stream. Let's see, are they using this? No, not bad, not bad. I mean, it's no this, but... yeah, this is looking real good. I'm happy. Got a surprising amount done today. In an hour. I feel like sometimes I record time-lapse and I don't get this much done in an hour, so... it's all thanks to you guys. Actually, let me save this real quick, because I haven't done that in about an hour. Oh, it's only been 20 minutes. That's not too bad. And then we're gonna... I don't know, can we want to do some cinematics? Let's just sit back and watch this a little bit. Yeah, I mean, so let me step out of this. Yeah, so I do use some of those buildings in the correct way. You know, I have like those like top and bottoms like I do here. So, you know, these are two separate assets stacked on top of each other. And obviously it works great, but little flat 1x1 commercial buildings. I don't know if I have any 1x1 commercial buildings anywhere. Only these. Like, this is the only one that I use occasionally. Like, I stick this little Lloyd's Bank in certain places that I like. But this is not a lot of 1x1 asset. I have it like right here, I think. I use this to kind of like cut a corner, which came out really nice in an earlier build. you talking about like these small commercial assets? Like the low density commercials that I use for a lot of, you know, the street facings? Was it one of the assets that I built today? I do have these assets that like have like tops and bottoms, and I'll use these occasionally as modulars. Okay, so like the Tesco. Yeah, like this one. Not this one, not this giant Tesco. Yeah. I mean, it's always good to stack buildings on top of each other, but I don't mind certain things being low-rise in a city like this, you know. It's just like a whole in real life, it's just not very high-rise. I mean, the tallest buildings still are these flats over here, you know, these council flats. Maybe we'll do a, before we get out of here, we'll do a quick, we'll do a first-person shot. Maybe of one of these cars coming into the city. Where is this guy going? Oh, he's not going far enough. I need somebody going to a nice place. Where are you going? Why are you all going to the same place? Be creative. Be original. I need somebody who's like going this way, you know? Like not just like passing through. I want somebody who's coming into the city. Okay, okay, where's this guy coming from? Oh yeah, let's do this, alright. Let's see how this looks. I do like all the car assets, like swapping in all these European car assets, it just makes all the difference. The vanilla cars in the game are so bad. I really hope if there is a Cities Skylines 2 on its way that... Aw, man, yeah, the football stadium looks amazing driving this direction. This is cool. I definitely don't do it. Now you can see the church that deep in the background now too. Like, look at that hearse asset. It's awful. It's like a blurry mess. Oh, wow, yeah, the university looks good at that angle, too. I like how I started, you know, this live stream thinking that I wasn't going to show you the university, and now I've showed it like 5 times. That's alright. It'll still be good to watch in the next video, but there's going to be a lot more done to it still. I'm definitely not done with it yet. We haven't worked on it at all today. These assets look really... all these UK assets look really great at street level. Waiting at that traffic light. Yeah. This is good. I love this kind of stuff, just seeing it come to life. I definitely don't do this enough. I know there are a lot of creators that do videos where they will, you know, do a whole transit through the city. I might have to do that at some point in the future, but for now, that is going to be it. Thank you everyone who stuck around today. We built a lot in the city center. We finished up detailing this area over here, and we also finished off a huge chunk. So an incredibly productive live stream. I will be doing these again in the future, and I hope to see you again then. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.